Christy, thank you. Well, it's no secret that Greenville is growing. In fact, last year, Greenville was the fastest growing city in the country.
The growth has outpaced the city's ability to keep up, resulting in poor public transportation, a housing boom that comes with a very hefty price tag. Our Aaron Rogers has been digging into the unseen cost of our upstate growth.
That cost is pricey. While older neighborhoods are getting revitalized, people who've called those neighborhoods home for generations are being pushed out. And helping those people and thousands of others will cost Greenville County about $8.5 million a year for the next 20 years to address the housing challenges.
Digging up Greenville's future. But every new house comes with a hidden cost.
He come by like a thief in the night.
Miss Alice Gary is a 72-year-old breast cancer patient. And until last year, this was her home for 25 years.
I got a letter in the mail saying 30 days.
A developer has spent the last year flipping hers and 3 of her neighbors' homes.
This is the first time I come back because I wanted to. Nothing I can do about it. I want to come back and look.
What stands is something she barely recognizes.
Terrible. And they're about to get me now.
What happened on Leach Street is just a snapshot of what's happening in many Greenville neighborhoods.
Greenville has become a place to be. Realtors and homeowners are flipping their houses and allowing people who can pay more money to come in and pay more money.
Some neighbors don't even.
Which isn't good news for people who rent, like Gary and Nakisha Mays, whose family has lived in the Sterling community for generations.
We like fish in the pond or in the lake. When are they going to throw that rod in and catch us, you know, and take me out of my home or tell me that, hey, you know, you have to leave or your rent is going to be so much. Used to be a home in here.
Mays works a full-time job at a major upstate employer and wants to own a home.
There's about 10 of them.
But at the end of her street, townhomes are going in that will cost around $700,000.
Come on. That's ridiculous. I mean, nobody can afford that. Not in this community.
There are groups trying to keep people in the neighborhood. Last month, the Sterling Land Trust broke ground on their first home.
We think that if we help to set the tone of what the expectation is, then hopefully any builders who would come after us would follow that same suit.
The Land Trust purchased 4 lots in the community where they plan to build affordable homes. But the issue runs deeper than displacement.
So the market includes people who are cashiers and dishwashers. But if your housing doesn't include them, then you've just moved all of those folks out of the city who now depend on an additional cost for their housing and a car now, or the bus service when it's on time and when it works.
St. Anthony of Padua Catholic Church purchased 12 homes from their collection basket to rehab and rent at affordable rates. But Father Patrick Tuttle says now they're being outpaced by development.
We are trying very hard to continue, but it's slowed us down. Where we could do 1 a year or 2 a year, now we'll be able to do 1 every 3 years.
And the competition for people wanting the homes is stiff, from West Greenville to Nicholtown and now the Mill Villages.
I want to buy her house.
Homeowners are getting inundated with solicitations, even those who aren't even thinking about selling.
As many as 6 from the same person over a period of about 1.5 years. Now these are the ones I saved. I've thrown away just as many.
Developers say Greenville is good business, but right now in the county, more than 27,000 people are waiting to get affordable housing, which is measured by 30% of a person's gross income going to housing.
The amount of people coming in our community is growing faster than our ability to put more units on the ground.
The Housing Authority will be putting 113 affordable units at the old Scott Tower site, but that only makes a small dent in the nearly 9,500 affordable unit shortage in the county. County leaders say it's a problem that's far-reaching in the community.
The people who make a lot of money, the people who make $200,000–300,000 a year and say, I'm not interested, well, you need to be. Because if these people don't have anywhere to live, they can't work on your job.
So to be able to keep the places staffed that drive the economy in downtown, the city created the Greenville Housing Fund, which will provide loans to developers targeting families with incomes between $15,000 and $55,000. But developer Russ Davis thinks the government needs to get involved by providing incentives to build low-income housing.
Once you get the subsidy, in fact, they or anybody who gets the subsidy should be able to build at a reasonable level of profitability.
However, he's also a proponent of inclusionary zoning, which levels the playing field.
When I go to buy a piece of property, I'm offering based upon the knowledge that I'm going to have 10% affordable or whatever the number is. And if somebody else comes in, it's the same deal.
Addressing the issue isn't a simple fix, and it's one the community says has to be done the right way.
It was hard there for a little while, but I made it.
Some state lawmakers are also stepping in, filing a bill that will allow county or city councils to impose an impact fee on developers that they could be exempt from if they dedicate 15% of the development to low-income housing. Greenville County rolled out their affordable housing plan last month. They will be building around 150 new homes, priced between $120,000 and $150,000. I'm Erin Rogers, 7 News.